Hey guys, and welcome back to Let's Play Super Metroid. And last time we cleared out some stuff in Brinstar, and now we are going to kind of continue. So, I kind of did things a little out of order than what I usually would have done because I kind of freaked out because I didn't have any power bombs. And the reason I did that is because you actually need power bombs to get most of the expansions here, because as you're coming back here with power bombs for the first time. So that's why you use a lot of power bombs. So we came through this way last time, and I kind of did some wall jumping to get up here, and you're supposed to use your grappling beam on these blocks to get across here. But I just, since I'm such a boss at wall jumping, I just decided to wall jump up here, and I showed you that when I came here first. But if you power bomb through those blocks, you can come through this wall, and we have giant side hoppers, which aren't really that bad, especially when you have the full wave, ice, and spacer beam combo, which kind of just blows everything away. But what you do is you come to here, and you get to this weird looking block, and you see these a couple times in the game. And anytime you see them, you can just assume that they're power bombs, or they're super missile blocks, because they're slightly shaped like super missiles. At least that's the way I look at them. But anyway, here we get our power bomb, this is actually the 6th power bomb expansion we've gotten so far, so we should be up to 30, which is a decent amount. Okay, and so to get out of here, we kind of have this little maze. Well, it's not really a maze, you just go through that way. Not really anything too complicated. There's a lot of morph ball mazes that come up later in the game, and particularly in this one area that we'll be going to fairly later in the game. So I'm hoping in this part to get the last of these expansions that we need to get, and then actually move into the next main area, which is a pretty neat area, if I do say so myself. I need to stop saying that so much, because that is directly copying Nintendo Capri Sun. I mean, a lot of people say, if I do say so myself, but he's the one who uses it a lot, and the main person I've heard it from. So anyway, here's another power bomb. This is number 7, so now we're up to 35. And as you can see, this is basically just leading back to Crateria. As you notice, that camera up there is gone. And that camera is actually kind of foreshadowing something that happens later in the game. Just an attack that a certain boss uses later on. Those of you who have played the game before might be able to make a connection between those cameras and a certain attack from a certain boss that comes later in the game, which I never actually caught on to until, you know, I actually played through my practice file and fought this boss, and I was like, oh hey, that kind of looks like those cameras. It's kind of neat. But we'll see that in a little bit. So anyway, I did actually finish my practice file, which I'm gonna try my best to complete practice files before I actually start a project. I mean, my original intent was to actually kind of play along with the practice file, like do my LP while I'm still doing the practice file. That way I can kind of keep things fresh in my head. But then it becomes this huge hassle that if I don't play the practice file for a while, then I can't actually record, which sucks. So anyway, the next expansion we're going to get, and it's actually a super missile, which is pretty good. In this shaft here, which is the old Metroid escape shaft, if you come to the only one of these platforms that's connected to this wall, and you jump onto it and bomb out the wall, you will find this neat little passage, and we have to use power bombs to get into it. And once we come through here, we need to speed. Well, first we have to deal with these boyons, and then we can just speed boost across here, which is actually something you need to do because we need the shine spark up here. This is a pretty neat little shaft. And I like these classic metallic rooms, although you don't really. This is supposed to be the old Metroid area, but you really don't see these rooms in the original Metroid. Whoops. The R button on this controller is starting to really mess up, so I might need to buy another GameCube controller or just use a different one. But all the other ones we have their own set of problems. Like most of them, like the control stick's messed up or the C buttons are messed up. I don't know. But anyway, oh, so my practice file, I wanted to say something else about that. So I finished it, and I had a clear time of 3 hours and 42 minutes, which is not enough to get the best ending in the game. So I don't know what that's going to mean for the actual file. Practice files usually take a lot longer for me to complete because I'm sitting there with the game on, and half the time I don't pause while I'm taking notes or looking something up. So that kind of causes them to be a little longer, and I apologize for that. Well, why should I apologize for that? It's just the practice file. So anyway, I'm going to stop by the ship real quick and make sure that I have everything that I should have up to this point as far as expansions go. So let's see, we should have 7 energy tanks, which we have, 2 reserve tanks, which I believe we have, 120 missiles, 20 super missiles, and 35 power bombs. So we are good to go. And I'm just doing that because at this point, if I miss something, I would want to go back and grab it before proceeding. Because I mean, we're going to be backtracking through most of the areas that we just went through, but I don't want to be knowing that I've missed something because it would just drive me crazy. So anyway, now we are actually going to head on to the next area, which is just east of where the ship is, and we can see it on our map. And it's this area called the Wrecked Ship, which is a pretty cool area, and it's kind of linked to the whole history of ZBs, which I will explain very briefly once the time comes. Okay, so now we have to cross this area, and this is why you need to get the grapple beam before coming here, because you have to get across here, and there's no other way that you can get over here unless you do some fancy tricks. You can't wall jump, or else I would have done that. But so, and we get this missile tank here, which is one that's just kind of freely given to us. So it's one of those freebies. Alright, and so now we get a lot of water. And water in this game slows us down because, you know, it's just like that. And it's not like that in Metroid 2 for some reason, but it's like that in this game. And I love the little whoops, I almost said the background, but I kind of caught myself. But I like the background here. You can see like the water must get deeper, or that's like the sea floor. You have little plants that stick up. Look like they have faces on them. I think it's pretty neat. Okay, so we get that missile tank right there. And you don't have to get this right away. You can wait until you get the item that lets you move through water freely. But I just like to grab it now. That way I don't have to worry about it later on. But we will actually get an item in this next area that lets us go through water without it slowing us down, which is essential to for getting through the next area that we go to after the wrecked ship, which is actually my favorite area in the game. So, okay, now we have to grapple across this. Oh shit! Whoops! I fell down. I was trying to think of. Oh, these are skull terras, by the way. These skull fish. Pretty cool. I was trying to think of the name of those rippers that fly around, but I forgot their name. Because I mentioned when we saw them the first time in the depths of Norfair, right after facing Crocomire and getting the grapple beam, I said that I didn't know their name, but then I found it, but I kind of forgot it. Okay, so here's a pretty tricky thing you have to do. You have to grapple and then hug the wall until you land on that platform. And then super missile, and then we enter the wrecked ship. And this place seems to have no power. So there's not a lot we can actually do in here. We can't go up. Through this door is just a broken down save room. We can't even use it. And there's a lot of S-bugs hanging around on the walls. And these broken electric wires. So that kind of shows that the ship has some age. And, ooh. We got, dang it, what are these? Coverns. And, what these are is they're ghosts that are controlled by the boss of the wrecked ship, as you'll see. So anyway, the ship, the people who created this planet Zebes, or who inhabited it for a while, were the Chozo. This was like their home planet for a while, until the space pirates came along and kind of messed them up and basically took it over for themselves. But this ship is what the Chozo used to get. Well, this is just one of the many Chozo, and I'll explain who the Chozo are when I play Metroid Zero Mission, because that's really when you see a lot of them. But the Chozo, this was one of their home worlds, and actually came to planet Zebes and inhabited it for a while until the space pirates came along, as I mentioned before. But this is actually the ship that they used to get here. So the ship has a lot of Chozo technology in it. But they must have left the ship here and then went along and did their business. And they just left it here to decay or something. But okay, we got a Ghidorah, which indicates that we are in boss territory. So, I actually like this boss coming up. It's probably my favorite in the game. Actually, maybe the water boss is my favorite. But anyway, so here we go. I'll go ahead and read the stats while this guy's kind of forming. He has 2,500 HP. These blue flames that he shoots out does 20 damage. The charge beam will do 300. Missiles will do 100. Super missiles will do 600 damage. Okay, yeah, that's all. So this guy is Phantoon, who makes an appearance in this game and in Other M at the very end, which I thought was really neat. So what he's going to do is he's going to fly around in kind of a figure 8 pattern and drop these eyeballs, which only do 20 damage, so it's not really that bad. But he's invisible, and he only appears occasionally like that, and that's when you hit him. So let's see, when I talked about doing damage to him, I said that super missiles do 600 damage, but the thing about super missiles is if you hit him with one, he's going to go nuts, and I'll actually show you that real quick. Oh, well, maybe not. Okay, so there we go. So he's going to do that, and then he's going to start doing this crazy wave stuff. And this can really... I would always hit him with super missiles as a kid, and I would completely get devastated by him. But you can avoid this wave of blue eyeballs by just timing your pseudo screw attacks, and you will pass right through the eyeballs and take no damage, which is really nice. It makes this fight a breeze. But there's a lot of other ways to avoid those. You can just hide in a corner in your morph ball. That works a little bit. Or you can just try to jump in between them, try to be fancy, which I really can't do that. So anyway, Phantoon is a highly ranked space pirate general, or he's leader of them in some way. I don't really know. But he actually people believe that he may have been created by the Chozo, and that he just stowed away on the ship, which is why he inhabited it, and that he just never left for some reason. But Phantoon is really cool because he can basically like phase in and out of dimensions, which is why he goes invisible. And what you can actually do, let me show you this, is you can use the X-ray visor to see him. You can see his outline, so you can kind of see where he is. Not really that useful of a thing, but I guess if you had the patience, you could actually track him and find out where he's going. But so if you the more damage you do to him, the brighter red he's gonna get. So that's how you can kind of know that he's getting close to dying, as we can see. So if you choose to not use super missiles and not do this jumping technique to avoid those eyeballs, you can just hit him with missiles or the charge beam. Those really don't do a lot of damage, but it's a safe way to kill this guy if you're not comfortable with trying to do the pseudo screw attack. But it's really good for anyone who's trying to do a speed run of this game, and they would just want to use super missiles. I should have hit him with the super missile because that would have finished him off. But and you can do this with just these eyeballs too. But you got to be careful because once you hit the ground, you're vulnerable. But anytime you're in the air and you have that pseudo screw attack going, you're invincible to these eyeballs. So that's really good. That's something you need to remember when you face this boss. You can make it go by really fast by using super missiles and that jumping technique. Okay, so there we go. We killed him. Actually, we didn't kill him because he reappears in Metroid Other M. And he's alive and well in that game, so he just kind of like fizzes away for now. And I've mentioned before that Other M is the game that takes place directly after Super Metroid. So, anyway, and once we defeat Phantoon, power is restored to the ship. And so now doors open, map stations activate, save stations activate, and now these electric wires that are kind of exposed activate. And they do damage, so you want to watch out for those. Well guys, I think we've done enough for this part, and next time we will explore more of the wrecked ship. So I will see you guys later. Bye.